Ever catch yourself wondering how sharp your mind really is as you hit your 60s? Maybe you're 65, juggling names, dates, and grocery lists. And you think, am I still on my game? Or is this the start of the fade? If you're over 60, those little memory hiccups like forgetting where you parked can feel like warning bells. But here's the flip side. What if your memory's actually stronger than most people's your age? What if it's a quiet clue you're built to outlast the average? Maybe even sail past 90 with your wits intact. I'm not just tossing out feel-good vibes here, this is grounded in science. Like a 2021 study from the University of California that ties a robust memory at 65 to a longer, healthier life. In this video, we're unpacking 5 signs that your memory's a cut above the rest. Simple, everyday things you might not even notice, but they could mean you're wired for the long haul. By the end, you'll know what to look for, why it matters, and how to keep that brain power humming. Stick around because there's a twist at the end. A little habit that could lock in those extra years. Let's dive in. Your mind's story is waiting to be told. First up, you've got this incredible knack for pulling up details as if you're thumbing through a photo album tucked away in your mind. Maybe it's the warm cinnamon-laced scent of your grandma's apple pie wafting through the kitchen 30 years ago. Or the bright red superhero shirt your kid insisted on wearing to their 5th birthday party, cake stains and all. If those little snapshots of life stick with you at 65, crisp and vivid as if they happened last week, that's not just a neat trick, it's a huge, flashing sign that your memory is running circles around most folks your age. Let's unpack why this is such a big deal. Scientists have a fancy name for it: episodic memory. That's your brain's superpower for logging those personal moments with all the juicy details. The who, what, where, and even how it felt. A 2021 study out of UC Irvine dug into this and found something wild. Seniors who nail this at 65 have a thicker hippocampus. That's the memory command center nestled in your brain. We're talking about being 30% more likely to breeze past 90 compared to those who can't keep the pieces straight. It's like your mind's wielding a high-definition camera, clicking away at life's highlights, while others are stuck with blurry Polaroids that fade fast. Picture Margaret, 66, sitting with her book club, sipping tea and swapping stories. Someone brings up a novel they read last year and boom, she's off like a shot. She's reciting the twisty plot, nailing the characters' odd little quirks, even tossing out a line verbatim from page 73, as if she's got the book tattooed in her head. Her friends are wide-eyed, stumbling over the basics. Wasn't there a dog or something? While Margaret's painting the whole scene as if it's unfolding right there in the room. Now flip to Tom, same age, same chat. He leans in, listens. But when it's his turn, there's nothing. Titles smear together, details slip through his fingers like sand. Margaret's brain is out there flexing its muscles, showing off. Tom's is letting his quietly fade into the background. Want to see where you stand? Next time you're reminiscing, maybe over coffee with a pal, tune in. Do the colors of that old memory pop like a movie reel, unspooling? Can you smell the rain, hear the laughter, feel the moment? If they hit you clear as day, you're golden. That's a bona fide longevity marker, lighting up your path. Want to keep it that way? Grab a pen and jot down one memory a day, 5 minutes, tops. It's like sending your hippocampus to the gym, pumping it up to stretch your years further. This isn't just nostalgia, it's your ticket to a sharper, longer life. Sign 2. You're the standout at the high school reunion who's got everyone beat, nailing names and faces while the rest of the crowd is squinting at name tags, scratching their heads. Picture this: you're 65, chatting up your neighbor's cousin at a barbecue, and a week later you bump into her and toss out a casual, "Hey Sarah, good to see you again," like it's nothing. If that's you, your memory's not just hanging in there, it's packing some serious horsepower under the hood. And it might just be the engine that drives you right past 90 with a grin on your face. Let's dive into why this is such a win. The science is crystal clear on this one. A 2019 study published in Neurology took a hard look at seniors like you and found something pretty incredible. Those who've got a sharp knack for facial recognition and name recall at 65 show cognitive decline rates up to 40% lower than the average Joe or Jane. That's a massive edge. It all ties back to a little spot in your brain called the fusiform gyrus. Think of it as your personal Face ID center. When it's staying nimble, zipping through connections like a pro, it's not just helping you avoid awkward blank stares. It's a sign that your whole brain network is humming along in tip-top shape. And here's the kicker. That kind of mental agility, it's like a golden ticket to a longer, fuller life. Now imagine Ed, 65, strolling through the grocery store on a Tuesday afternoon. He catches sight of a cashier he met once, months back, and without missing a beat, he's all, "Hey Lisa, how's that dog of yours doing?" Lisa's jaw practically hits the counter. She's floored. Most folks barely glance her way, let alone remember her pup's antics. Ed's not showing off, it's just how his brain rolls, firing on all cylinders like a well-oiled machine. Then there's Betty. Same age, same store, same aisle. She drifts by, offers a vague nod, maybe a half smile. But Lisa's a ghost to her, names don't stick. Faces blur into the background. Betty's memory is starting to misfire, sputtering where Ed's is purring along. That's the difference. A brain in high gear versus one that's losing its spark. Want to see if you've got this in the bag? Here's a little trick to try. Next time you meet someone new, say at the park or a family get-together, say their name aloud right off the bat. "Nice to meet you, John," you say, and while you're at it, picture their face with a quirky twist. Maybe John's rocking a bright red hat in your mind's eye, or he's got a goofy grin that stands out. It's like hitting save on a mental file. It locks that name and face in tight. If you're already acing this, spotting folks from across the room and calling them out like it's no big deal, you're miles ahead of the pack. Congrats, you've got a memory with muscle. Keep it flexing by mingling whenever you can. Chat up the mail carrier, swap stories at the coffee shop. Every name you nail is like a little victory lap for your brain, building that horsepower to carry you further down the road. This isn't just about looking sharp, it's about living long and strong. Number 3 is a quiet little gem you might not even notice until it shines. You can talk through a story or a plan without losing the thread, like a seasoned storyteller spinning a yarn. If you're 65 and you're not trailing off mid-sentence, scratching your head and muttering, "Wait, what was I saying?" That's not just a handy party trick, it's a golden sign your memory's tougher than most folks your age. It's like your brain's whispering a sweet promise in your ear. Stick with me and you might just cruise past 90 with plenty of tales left to tell. So what's the deal behind this? It's all about something called working memory. That nifty ability to hold ideas in your head while you juggle them around. Like keeping a recipe straight while you chop and stir. The 2020 study from the National Institute on Aging dug deep into this and came up with gold. Seniors who keep this skill razor sharp at 65 have a 25% lower risk of dementia creeping in. And they're not just hanging on, they're living longer, sometimes a whole decade more than the average. That's your prefrontal cortex stepping up to the plate, the brain's command center, staying in top gear when others are shifting into neutral. It's like having a trusty co-pilot who never lets the map slip out of sight, guiding you through life's twists with confidence. Imagine Ruth, 67, hosting a cozy dinner at her place. She's leaning across the table, eyes sparkling, telling everyone about her last big trip. Dates roll off her tongue, places paint the picture, and those funny little moments, like the time she accidentally ordered snail soup, flow smooth as silk. Not a single stumble, her guests are hooked, hanging on every word, laughing along as she weaves the tale like a pro. Then there's Frank, the same age, sitting a seat over, eager to jump in with his own story. He starts strong, voice booming, but halfway through, where was I? And the whole thing fizzles out, like a candle snuffed too soon. Ruth's mind is a steel trap, snapping shut on every detail. Frank's letting thoughts slip through the cracks, scattering before he can catch them. That's the line. Memory holding firm versus memory starting to fray at the edges. Want to see if you've got this locked down? Test it out next time you're explaining something. Maybe how to fix that squeaky door or what happened at the grandkids game. Do you stay on track, steering the story home without veering off into the weeds? If you do, fantastic. That's pure longevity fuel pumping through your brain. And if you want to give it a little extra juice, try boosting it. Chat with a friend without leaning on notes, letting the words flow free, or tackle a puzzle every day. Crosswords, Sudoku, whatever gets your gears turning. It's like keeping that command center humming, oiling the works so it doesn't rust out. This isn't about showing off, it's about proving to yourself that your mind's still got the strength to carry you far. Every story you tell without a hitch is a step toward those extra years, and trust me, you've got plenty more to share. Sign 4 is a real spark of magic. You pick up new skills or facts, like you're still bouncing around in your 30s, full of wide-eyed curiosity. If you're 65 and you can wrestle that tricky new phone app into submission or whip up a recipe you've never tackled before, say a creamy risotto that's spot on the first try, your memory's not just holding steady, it's a standout in the crowd. And here's the exciting part. That kind of mental zip is dropping a big bold hint that you could breeze past 90 still learning, still growing, and still lighting up the room. So why is this such a big deal? It all boils down to a fancy little word, neuroplasticity. That's your brain's incredible knack for stretching itself, growing fresh connections like a gardener planting new roots. A 2022 study in Nature Aging took a deep dive and came up with something jaw-dropping. Seniors who learn fast at 65 have brains that act a full 10 years younger. Wires firing, circuits humming, giving them a 35% better shot at hitting their 90s compared to those who stall out. It's not about your mind shrinking into some quiet corner. It's about it still stretching, reaching for new horizons, like it's got all the time in the world. Think of it as your brain flexing its muscles, proving it's still got that youthful spring in its step. Take Joan, 66, who wakes up one day and says, "I'm going to learn guitar, why not?" She grabs a beat-up old 6-string, watches a few videos, and in just weeks, she's strumming chords like she's been at it for years, grinning ear to ear, her kitchen filled with twangy tunes. Her friends are floored, calling her a marvel. Half-jokingly, she's secretly a rock star in disguise. Then there's Bill, 65, who figures he'll give it a whirl too. He picks up the same guitar, but it's a mess. Strings tangle into knots, notes blur into a jumble, and after a frustrated hour he tosses it aside, grumbling, "I'm too old for this nonsense." Joan's brain is out there building bridges, linking new pathways with every pluck. Bill's letting his rust over, stiffening up when it could be soaring. That's the line, growth versus giving up. Sign 5. You rarely forget where you put things. Last one, and it's a doozy. Something so everyday, you might not even clock it as a win. You don't lose your keys, your glasses, or that darn remote that always seems to vanish into the couch cushions. Well, not often anyway. If you're 65, and you're still tracking your stuff like a hawk, zeroing in on where you left that phone charger or your favorite pen without breaking a sweat, your memory's not just hanging in there, it's like a rock star belting out a chart-topping hit. And here's what it's screaming loud and clear. You might just live past 90 sharp as ever with plenty of years to keep ruling the roost. Let's get into the science of why this matters. It's not just about avoiding a frantic search party in your living room. This is all about spatial memory, that clever knack your brain has for mapping out where things are in your world. It's tied to two heavy hitters, your hippocampus and your entorhinal cortex, the dynamic duo that keeps your mental GPS humming. A 2021 study from Boston University put this under the microscope and found something golden. Seniors who've got sharp spatial recall at 65, like knowing exactly where they parked in a crowded lot, have a 20% lower risk of Alzheimer's sneaking up on them. And it's not just dodging that bullet. They're living longer, often sailing well into their 90s with their wits intact. If your brain's GPS is purring along like a finely tuned engine, you're not just golden, you're set for the long haul. Picture Sam, 68, gearing up to head out the door. Keys, right there in his coat pocket, same as always. Glasses, sitting neatly on the desk where he left them. He's on it, calm as can be, with no wild goose chases or muttered curses under his breath. Now flip the scene to his sister Clara, 66, just 2 years behind him. For her, every day's a treasure hunt gone wrong. Glasses vanish into thin air, keys go AWOL like they've sprouted legs, and the stress piles up like a storm cloud she can't shake. Sam's brain's a map, crisp and clear, guiding him through his days with ease. Clara's losing the plot, fumbling through a fog where things slip out of reach. That's the divide, memory holding steady versus memory letting the reins slip. Want to check if you're in Sam's league? Test this out, cast your mind back over the week. Did you misplace something big like your wallet or that umbrella you swore you'd keep track of? If you're drawing a blank on any major losses, you're crushing it. Your spatial memory's flexing its strength like a champ. And here's the twist to take it up a notch. Pair this gift with a simple habit. Eat a handful of blueberries every day. A 2020 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that their antioxidants are like rocket fuel for your spatial memory, supercharging those brain circuits and adding years to your mental edge. Try it. Toss some berries into your breakfast, maybe with yogurt or a splash of milk, and watch your recall soar to new heights. This isn't just about finding your keys, it's about keeping your brain's map sharp and your future long. You're not just staying on top of things, you're building a path to 90 and beyond. So there you go, 5 signs your memory's stronger than most at 65. Vivid details, quick names, steady thoughts, fast learning, and a knack for not losing things. Spot these in yourself. You're not just sharp, you might be on track to blow past 90, living fully and clearly. This isn't guesswork. UC Irvine, Neurology, and the NIA. They're all saying the same thing. A strong memory at 65 is your ticket to more birthdays. Margaret, Ed, and Ruth. They're proof that you can shine while others fade. Don't see all five? No sweat, you can build them. Jot down a memory, learn a trick, eat those berries. Small moves, big payoff. Your brain's not done yet. It's ready to fight for those extra years. So what's your sign? Comment below, tell me one that hits home, or a habit you'll try. I read every word, and your story might spark someone else's. If this lit a fire, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. More brain-boosting tips are coming soon. Share this with a friend who's forgetting their keys too often. Let's keep those minds sharp together. Thanks for being here. You're not just 65, you're unstoppable. See you next time.